Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is my first Let's Play, and I hope it goes quite well. A couple things before we get into creating a character and playing the game. First, let me turn the volume down, because it's actually way too freaking loud, and it's bothering me. There we go, that's better. Second, I'm using two mods. So that does change the game a bit. The first one is only a visual change. It gets rid of the blur effect from the 4-speed series of powers, because I find them quite annoying, although the powers are quite useful. Second, there's I added a regeneration effect that only affects you when out of combat. It just makes things a little bit easier and more like the second game in the series, and everything's a bit less of a hassle. It doesn't have a major effect on combat or anything like that. Anyways, let's jump straight into character creation. Now, I like to play melee-heavy characters, but the thing is, it's actually really better if you don't choose the soldier class. The soldier class is intended for generally melee in combat. Scoundrel is stealthy and gets lots of skill points, and the scout is sort of in the middle. But Scout actually gets a couple of really nice bonuses, so I always go that first, and when you get your class change early on in the game, I swap classes to the melee one. I always use this portrait. It just sort of vaguely reminds me of myself, I guess. It looks the most like me, so it's always what I go with. Now we get to do our attributes, which are, if you're familiar with pretty much any RPG system, you should be familiar with these. Strength is your general melee aptitude. Dexterity increases your armor and how well you attack with ranged attacks. Constitution is your health and how resilient you are to poison. Intelligence, as in this game, it really only gives you skill points. Wisdom affects your force powers and force points, and charisma affects a couple force powers, and for the main character, affects your ability to persuade people. I'm not much of a force power person, but other than that, that all seems okay. Skills, computer, I always like to go with some basic stuff here. It's just really nice to do sort of everything with one character. Feats, we start off with a couple of them. We start with light armor, medium armor, flurry, which is the best attack feat in the game. Implant, which is the main reason you want to go scout. You get the implant series of feats for free, which is really nice. A couple weapon proficiencies that we're not going to bother using, and then we have one feat to spend. I always like to go for dueling as my main feat tree, just because I like how one-handed weapons work. As you can see, it makes you a bit better with one-handed weapons. So I always go with that. Name? No. Of course I'm going to go with Knife, because that's my name. And let's get started. We have a bit of a cutscene here, and we should be in the game before you know it. We're loading first. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yes, everyone knows that. Knights of the Old Republic. 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, which I think was actually retconned to 3,000 years, but whatever. I'm not here to discuss Star Wars canon. The Republic verges on collapse. Darth Malak, last surviving apprentice of the Dark Lord Revan, has unleashed an invincible Sith armada upon an unsuspecting galaxy. Crushing all resistance, Malak's war of conquest has left the Jedi Order scattered and vulnerable as countless knights fall in battle, and many more swear allegiance to the new Sith Master. In the skies above the outer rim world of Terrace, a Jedi battle fleet engages the forces of Darth Malak in a desperate effort to halt the Sith's galactic domination. Okay, I'm not actually that good at singing along to stuff like that, even though I must have heard that song 1,000 times. And we've got a bit of a fight going on, and that ship looks rather damaged, and kind of blowing to pieces. It doesn't really look good. Hope we're not on that ship. That would be terrible. It looks like we kind of are. Sucks for us. Or me. Or whatever. What the hell's going on? And who's this asshole?
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
Thanks for confirming the obvious. And so we've got, this is the dialogue tree, with the rather obvious tutorial. Who is this guy? Seems kind of important.
I'm Trask Olgo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Okay, yes. Who is she? That, you know, you seem to assume I know her, and I've never heard of her before.
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer, really. But she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I heard what everyone's saying about you. You've explored the farthest reaches of the galaxy. You visited planets I've never even heard of. People with your skills and abilities are hard to find. It's no wonder the Republic recruited you for this mission. But now's the time to prove yourself. I know you're a scout and not a soldier. But Bastila needs all troops at her side during this attack.
Okay, you know, since I'm apparently a troop here, we might as well go help this chick.
So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
Alright, seems fair enough. Yeah, we've got a bit of tutorial stuff here, we don't care about that. Alright, so, as you can see, you can walk around. This is one of the things that actually sort of bothers me about the game, is the controls are a little weird because you don't really have full camera control. It just takes a bit of getting used to from a game like Dragon Age, which just has...
You can move the mouse to the edges of the screen to rotate the camera.
I don't care,
Alternately,
Trask.
moving the mouse while holding down the right mouse button will rotate the camera as well.
Thank you.
To move towards
No,
the
I don't...
Bolt, you can left click on an...
Okay, sorry about skipping that if you wanted to hear it, but it's just tutorial stuff. It just takes... Anyways, as I was saying, it just takes a bit of getting used to move around in the cameras in particular. And we seem to be spinning. Anyways, let's open this up. And we've got, as you can see, a bunch of stuff. So let's open up our inventory. Clothes are good. This gives us extra constitution, which, since we have an even constitution, won't actually do anything for us. But whatever. And let's get a short sword. Cool. Now, as you can see, this is our sort of basic combat stat screen. Right here is our damage. This lists any bonuses we get from wielding this weapon. So we do a random from 2 to 7 damage every time we hit. We have 9 health, which isn't a lot, but we'll get more and we have 14 AC, which is the chance we have to not be hit, basically. You don't have anything that actually mitigates damage right now. This is just our general inventory. This all looks probably fairly familiar. We've got our stats, our health, our defense, our saves, which are basically bonuses to specific types of saves, I think. So Fortitude, for example, is against things like poisons, while Reflex is against like area attacks, like a grenade, and Will is against mind powers. So it's basically how good we are, at resisting those abilities. These are skills. We don't need the tutorial. Has a description and our ranks. We have 4 computer use plus a 2 bonus to intelligence. All our skills are influenced somewhat by our attributes. This is a list of dialogue. This is basically everything that pops up on the screen. Current quests. Our map. We haven't explored a lot. And the option screen. Alright, seems good enough.
Okay, let's move out. We should stick together. You'll have more success with a party than on your own.
Okay, so we have to add Trask here to our party, and as you can see, there's 9 party members, funnily enough. But we can't really tell who they are yet.
Because of the attack, this room is in lockdown. But don't worry, I've got the override codes. You'll have to use me to unlock the door.
Okay, Trask. Now we have an extra party member. Easy enough to swap between them. And we just tell them to open the door.
Now that the door is open, you better take the lead again.
Cool enough. Get some XP for the very easy task. C and Z. Oh, I see.
This is KotOR. The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge!
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend Bastila. There's a map of the Endar Spire and a copy of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
Alright, let's move out. It sounds fairly urgent if the captain of the ship is begging random people for help. Yeah, I've messed with the controls a little, because by default, left and right are actually these. But I like to be able to rotate, it just feels smoother. Let's pick the lock.
Got it.
And... poor guy.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic.
Let's go take out some soldiers. Now this is the little combat interface. As you can see down here, there's a couple different items we can use. We have med packs and adrenals, which are basically buffs. And this is force power and something. I don't remember. Anyways, we can flip through our different attacks here. We're generally going to be using Flurry, although until we get the best rank of Flurry, we're not going to be using it on, like, boss dudes. It just doesn't work very well. But, oh well. Thank you. And let's jump into battle. We can pause and unpause anytime we feel like it. And there we go.
I've got a feeling that won't be our last battle with the Sith. Good thing we have med packs to heal our wounds. It might be a good idea to use one now before our next battle.
Okay, thankfully we don't really need to, as we'll regenerate automatically. But let's loot the bodies, as is the time-honored RPG tradition. We got a grenade there, which are fairly useful items for some easy damage. Nothing over there, so let's head to this door. More Sith. The game automatically pauses when we start battle, which I have it set up that way. You don't have to, but I just find it useful to get everything in order. And you can see over our heads there's various information on combat. Kill that dude. Run in, kill this guy. And please. Okay. Excellent. We were getting a bit low on health, but we'll heal that up. As you can see. Some money. More loot. There's going to be plenty of looting in this. So if you don't like loot heavy videos, don't watch this. I'm sorry, but that's just sort of the way it is. It's an RPG and there's looting. Got a couple more items, including some wonderful actual armor. Couple things here. Notice this is light armor, which we can use effectively because we have light armor proficiency. It gives us a bonus of 4 to defense, but it caps out our dexterity bonus at +5, which isn't an issue since we're only at +2 right now. So we'll equip that, and we'll swap to a longsword. The main difference, longsword, as you can see, has a higher damage range, but it's not balanced, which means it's not as good in your offhand when dual wielding, but we're not going to have to worry about that yet. Trask is fine. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna have to fiddle with some settings in between videos, but no worries. Yeah, so apparently the Republic troopers are completely and totally worthless. This will be a good opportunity. No, clicking on someone will automatically... I don't remember... let's see. We want to target this dude. There we go. And chuck a grenade at him.
What?
Which should... There we go. Leaving just one guy left. Easy peasy. 2 more come. Now, the main downside to Flurry... Wow, that was kind of buggy pathfinding. The main downside to Flurry, as I was saying, is that it lowers your attack and defense for the turn. Now, everything's done in turns, but it's relatively seamless. Anyways, Flurry lowers your attack and defense temporarily, but gives you extra attacks. So it's usually worth the trade-off, unless you're dealing with people who have really high attack and defense, in which case it's not, because you'll never be able to hit anybody. And you'll take lots and lots and lots of damage. In particular, there's some fights later down the road that I'll not be using it for, because this early in the game, we'll get our asses handed to us by... I keep saying us. Well, I mean, I'm sort of playing it with you guys, I guess, vaguely. But yeah, I'll get my ass handed to me if I
It's a dark Jedi. This fight's too much for us. We better stay back. All we do is get in the way.
So that's our first lightsaber duel, which ends with
one of the Jedi accompanying Bastila. Damn, we could have used her help.
That's our first sight of a lightsaber duel. There will be plenty more of those to come, but for now it's pretty much limited to seeing a couple people beat on each other and then both die. Combat's generally a good place to be able to just talk about whatever you feel like. In this, I keep talking slightly weird, like whatever you feel like in us, and I'm gonna have to change that because it just feels kind of wrong. Oh well. Let's loot all these corpses. We got a vibration cell there, which is an upgrade item. So when we get items we can modify, we can stick it in there and get some bonuses. A couple more people to beat up. There's some fighting going on in the background over there. But everybody's going to die. And we've just leveled up, which is nice.
Bastel is not here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pods. We better head that way too. The Sith want Bastel alive, but once she's off the ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
Alright, let's level up, and we're almost done with this area, I think. This part of the area. Generally, I just end up putting points into more or less where they go. You can save skill points, thankfully. Let's see. What do we want here? You can't really get much that's really good for a while. Most of the stuff requires level 4, and I don't like wasting points on weapon focuses for stuff that we're not going to use for very long. We're not going to bother with range stuff. Power attack is completely useless. So pretty much we just have a couple of basic skills. Critical strike is useless as well. So generally with this feat I go into toughness, because it gives us lots and lots and lots of HP. So now we've actually have 20 HP. That level over more than doubled our HP. And my voice is getting really hoarse. So I am going to go take a drink of water and fiddle with the graphic settings, and we'll be right back.